Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the potential of a Switch 1 focused February Nintendo Direct happening either this upcoming week, maybe the week after, but really within February. Are we still getting one? Just a few weeks ago, everybody was so confident, everybody was so ready and expecting a Nintendo Direct in February, but now that we're getting, towards the middle of the month and there hasn't been one yet, people are starting to get a little bit more skeptical of it. So today I want to talk about whether or not we should still expect one, and if we don't get one, what does that mean for the Switch 1? Because I do still think they have quite a bit to show, at least in terms of remasters, but also stuff from their partners. Maybe we get a partner showcase, Fantasy Life, Professor Layton, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD. Like, there's still quite a few third-party things that are very Switch-oriented that need to be shown. And then, yeah, there's rumors of Kirby Planet Robobots, and, we're always talking about Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, Fire Emblem 4 Remake. If there's not a Nintendo Direct, when will these things show up? So that is what we're talking about today. Of course, if you are new here, you enjoy Nintendo Switch speculation, discussion, theories, all that fun stuff, I would appreciate you subscribing. Let's get into it. Yeah, so it feels like, about a week ago, everybody was so confident in there being a Nintendo Direct in February, but then Nintendo tweeted this out on February 5th, giving us exact timing for the Switch 2 Direct. I didn't cover this in a video. I saw some people did. I don't think this is enough to talk about in an entire video. It's just, yep, it's happening at 6 a.m. We already knew there was going to be a Nintendo Direct on April 2nd for Switch 2 games, and a lot of people saw this being tweeted out in early February when we normally get a Nintendo Direct, and saw this to mean like, oh, they're really just locked in on marketing that Switch 2 showcase. And then I think people really lost hope when they announced that Wario Land 4 would be coming to Switch Online on February 14th, which is right in that time frame that we normally would get a Direct. Well, why would they announce an NSO game, especially a bigger one like Wario Land 4? Why would they announce that a week in advance if we're getting a Direct the following week? So I think a lot of hope has been, wavering when it comes to the possibility of a Switch 1 focused Nintendo Direct in February. However, I don't think these things really indicate anything, to be honest. NSO drops happen when NSO drops happen. Wario Land 4 is one that we've been waiting on for a very long time. And in the past, I would need to go back and check literally every Switch Online update. I don't think that's ever meant something isn't happening. I'm pretty sure there have been completely unrelated NSO drops the same day as Nintendo Directs before. I don't think Wario Land 4 happening on the 14th really means anything, although it is very exciting. I'm excited to finally play Wario Land 4. But I think what has really set people off and not expecting a February showcase from Nintendo is this reply from Nate the Hate on Twitter. This person said, got anything to share? Not about the date necessarily, about the February Nintendo Direct, like some game or the week it's happening. And Nate the Hate responded yesterday morning saying, have nothing to share. Beyond there being rumor talk of a February Direct, I haven't heard anything about one or when one may happen. I'm currently in the dark on whether a February Direct will come to be or not. And then he said, when I hear something, I'll let people know. As of this moment, the only gaming-related events I'm aware of is Sony's upcoming States of Play. Then he had some cool things to say about Final Fantasy IX Remake. Maybe it's coming out in 2026. That's cool. I just wanted to cover this because people need to calm down. Listen, I get it. Nate the Hate, very reliable, right? Nate the Hate is the one who told us the Switch 2 was being announced when it was announced back in January. He was the one that broke that news that it was happening on January 16th. He has also in the past been very reliable about Nintendo Direct showcase timings. So to a lot of people, him saying he has nothing to share or doesn't know of a February Direct, that immediately cancels it out in their mind of oh, well, he said he doesn't know about one. That means there's not one happening. He didn't say there isn't one happening. He just said he's in the dark. I just feel like people are a little quick to jump the gun just because this person said he doesn't know if one's happening. That doesn't mean there isn't one happening. Does it hurt its chances? I guess a little bit, right? You have this very clued in insider saying he doesn't know if there is one happening. That is a little, I guess, disheartening, we'll say. But I just feel like people need to calm down. And also, people definitely need to stop stretching what people say. He didn't say there isn't a Nintendo Direct. He said that he doesn't know if there is one. Those are two completely different sentences. But PH Brazil has kind of doubled down on it, actually. He was the one who said months ago that there would be a February Direct, that he had heard of a February Direct. He doubled down this morning saying, about the Direct, I'll keep looking into things, and in case I learn of anything that contradicts what I've said previously, I'll be open with it as always. Regardless, as far as I'm aware, I was the only person who knew and talked about the August Direct last year, all the way to the day it was announced. So from my perspective, what's happening now isn't enough to make me doubt my sources yet, which is, I think, 100% true. Brazil was the person who completely broke that there would be a partner showcase in August. August, that they were moving their plans up from September to August. You know, normally we get that September Direct. Brazil was the person who said all of that. I think maybe as we got a little bit closer to it, maybe Nate the Hate had said something. But regardless, Brazil absolutely was the person who broke the entire concept of there being an August partner showcase, and as well as Indie World, I believe he also specified that as well. And Brazil is the one saying that there will be a February Direct. And based on what he's saying here, he said in case he learns of anything that contradicts what he said previously about there being a February Direct, he's doubling down. He still thinks there's a February Direct happening this month. So we'll have to wait and see. But either way, I think we'll know within the next 7 days, because they need to date some stuff for after Xenoblade. I've seen some people saying some really frankly dumb stuff, being like, oh, Xenoblade X is the final Switch 1 game. After that, there's going to be no Switch 1 games. Guys, they're going to keep supporting the Switch for at least another year. I promise you they will keep supporting the Switch, even if it's not as frequently as it has been. There will still be Switch 1 games released after the Switch 2 comes out, and they need to start dating those and announcing those, because I don't know if they really want to have that messaging muddled when the Switch 2 is already out. I think it makes sense to get these announcements out now. Maybe early March we get a Direct. Maybe that could work because the Switch showcase, or the Switch 2 showcase, is in April. But we need to have a couple of things announced for the summer for Switch 1. There's 150 million Switches out there. They are not going to abandon that, you know, even before the Switch 2 comes out. That makes no sense. There's been rumors of Kirby Planet Robobot. Nate the Hate doubled down on that again. I think that is one. If we don't get a Direct, right? This is why I say I think we'll know in the next 7 days. If we don't get a Direct, I think Kirby Planet Robobot, maybe that's announced on Twitter, right? They have announced games on Twitter before, and at that point we'll know, like, okay, well, if Planet Robobot's getting announced on Twitter, then there's probably not going to be a February Direct. In general, I just feel like people need to, like, take a step back. We're so quick to jump the gun and say, oh, this insider was wrong, this insider was right, all that stuff. We need to just calm down and wait and see how things play out. I remember last month when the day that Nate the Hate said the Switch 2 would be revealed came around, and it didn't happen at like midnight 01 on the dot. People were like, oh, he was wrong. And then what do you know, 12 hours later or whatever, it got announced. People just need to calm down and wait and see. People started freaking out about there not being a February Direct after a couple insiders said something on like February 4th. We almost never get the February Direct that early. In fact, I don't know if we ever have. It is usually in the middle of the month. It is usually in the week that we're about to approach, around the 12th or the 13th. They have been a little bit later before, around the 19th or the 20th. It is extremely likely that we'll be getting a Pokemon Presents on the 27th. Could the Direct be the week of the 16th? Definitely possible, right? No one thought they would have the Switch 2 reveal happen the same day that Donkey Kong came out. I don't think we can jump to conclusions until, 2 weeks from now, we'll say. And then at that point, if we enter the week where the Pokemon Presents is, if there's no Direct by then yeah, we can say, okay, the February Direct, that was a bust. It didn't happen. But people are freaking out on like February 4th, February 5th, and that's a little ridiculous. Calm down. There's still hope. Though, like I said, even if there isn't a Nintendo Direct, I still think Nintendo will announce some stuff on Twitter, and maybe that could be pushed to early March. Maybe if there is no Direct, you see a Kirby announcement like the first week of March or something. You'd have to do it before Xenoblade, because after Xenoblade, there's nothing dated for the Nintendo Switch. And even including third-party stuff, there's really not that much. Rune Factory is dated for May. The Capcom Fighting Collection 2, that just got dated for May as well. But really after May, even including third-party stuff, there's nothing. And, talking more of third parties, like I mentioned, we need dates for Fantasy Life. That is just slated for April right now. I think there's a chance that might pop up in the State of Play, because Fantasy Life popped up on the back end of PSN. So maybe that gets a date in the State of Play. I wouldn't be shocked if that game got delayed again, to be honest. But Fantasy Life is one that we are definitely due to see again. Professor Layton is currently slated for 2025 with no real window. We've only seen a little bit of gameplay. Will it actually hit this year? I'm hopeful, but I don't think it's a lock necessarily. But if it is 2025, we should be seeing it in a Nintendo Direct very soon. And then the big one, Metroid Prime 4, I think that game will be cross-gen, and in that scenario, maybe Nintendo does wait until the Switch 2 Direct to show it again. That definitely makes me question Metroid Prime 2 and 3. I personally do believe those games will happen, similar to how we saw Pikmin 1 and 2, where even if it's only a month in advance, I do think Metroid Prime 2 and 3 will be dropped on the eShop. Maybe they get a physical, maybe they don't. But with how Nintendo has acted with Bayonetta, with Pikmin, even something like Xenoblade, I mean, all the Xenoblade games are about to be on Switch. I just don't see them not putting Prime 2 and 3 on the eShop at all. Like, I definitely think that's going to happen before Prime 4 to get people ready, and the way that they did for Pikmin. I mean, really, Pikmin is like the template. It's like, okay, well, if you're doing Pikmin 1 and 2 3 weeks before Pikmin 4, I think that is a sign that they just want to have all of their games available on one platform and get people ready for the new entry. And I mean, it was a strategy that absolutely worked for Pikmin, because Pikmin 4 is the best-selling game in the series. Even though we don't have sales numbers for Pikmin 1 and 2, that entire strategy worked. But hey, maybe we will just end up getting a nice bit of a Twitter direct, and Kirby's announced one day, Metroid Prime 2 and 3 announced another day, maybe one more thing tossed in there for later in the year. Maybe they don't say anything until like March. Maybe we don't get a Nintendo Direct for Switch 1 games until like June. I just don't think that makes sense, because that's when we're talking about the release window for the Switch 2. I don't know if you want to do a Switch 1 Direct when the Switch 2 is like hot on the market. It's already out. People are playing it. People are excited for the games. I think they have enough coming to Switch 1 this year that they should have that Direct before the Switch 2 event. And then, hey, in the Switch 2 event, they can say, yeah, we had a Direct back in February. All those games are playable on Switch 2 through backwards compatibility. I just feel like it makes sense to announce those now to not muddy the messaging. And honestly, I do think it's possible that maybe we do get a partner showcase and they just do what they did last year and have a first-party game anyway. Nintendo doesn't own Eureka, but Endless Ocean Luminous was a first-party announcement. Maybe we get another partner showcase and it's like, yep, Kirby Planet Robobot. Part-Time UFO was announced in one of the very first partner showcases, and that is another game from HAL, just like Kirby. So maybe Kirby would slot into a partner showcase, even though it doesn't really belong there. Maybe it would pop up anyway, because Nintendo, I mean, they can do whatever they want, to be honest. So we'll have to wait and see. I have not given up hope. If we get through this next week, we get to next Sunday, then I will start doubting it a little bit. But even then, I still think it's possible they do it the week before the Pokemon Presents. I just feel like, logically speaking, you would want a little bit more of a gap in between those two events, but maybe not. Maybe it doesn't really matter. We'll have to wait and see. I'm still expecting something this month, though, for Switch 1 owners from Nintendo. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I mean, maybe they'll just keep tweeting about Donkey Kong Country Returns HD every day. There's like 1,000 tweets about it. It's the most marketed remaster of all time in all of history. So maybe they'll just keep marketing that, and you know, that's all we're getting this year for Switch 1, that and Xenoblade. But let me know your thoughts. Of course, subscribe here for more Nintendo discussions, theories, all that fun stuff. Follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames, and check out my collecting channel at It's Amiibo. Until next time, folks, peace.